Cam Taylor was an active, physically fit 50-year-old marathon runner and international leadership coach. But on April 23, 2011, his life was rerouted. Today, he is helping people navigate their new normal after tragedy or loss. Cam, I'd like you to take us back to that detour in your life.
Well, that day on April 23rd was a beautiful Saturday morning, and it was the Easter weekend of that year, and it was the first riding day of the season. And in BC, we can start riding motorcycles in April. And so we got the plates on the bike, the license. My wife and I dressed up in our leathers, and we got on the bike.
This wasn't your first outing on a bike.
Definitely
You were
not.
veterans.
Been riding for 20 years, so
yeah.
well experienced. Got on the bike to go have a coffee in Harrison, which is about an hour's drive away. And on the way there, we were going along and the wind in our face, but all of a sudden a car came from a side road and ran the stop sign and turned left right in front of us and gave me nowhere to go. I don't remember the incident just because of the trauma involved, but they tell me that I slammed on the brakes and laid the bike down and found myself jammed headfirst under this Cavalier, and my wife was off to the side and the bike was over here. So it was incredibly traumatic, a lot of broken bones right down the whole right side of my body, a lot of internal hemorrhaging from blood loss. So it was serious. I was an inch away from death, but God kept me alive, and they got us by helicopter to the trauma hospital in New Westminster.
Your wife, Vicki, would go home 10 days later to heal. It would be a much longer journey for you. You say the detour is a messy middle where character, your metal, is forged. And you say you had to embrace the misery.
Yeah, that's true. It was really interesting when I woke up 2 days later in the ICU and I was looking at my children, and then I started to realize what happened. And right away, I had a real peace that came over me, and an acceptance of not accepting everything that had happened, but wow, what just happened? And I guess I better be with this, because what else am I going to do? But it was very messy, and it got messier as I went into it. But it was, yeah, my eyes were opened, and it was one of those experiences that you never forget.
Just a few details. I love that you say you enrolled in Trial University. Yes. All the details of your journey and graduation are in your book. Detour, a roadmap for when life gets rerouted. You had 10 hospital stays and surgeries from 2011 to 2014. Interesting numbers on this grad. 484 staples, 46 sutures. The bone transporter was, I mean, let's commend medical science for what is possible. But really, it's kind of a rack of torture. Yeah,
the bone transporter was, I would say, the most painful part. That was where they had to cut out 6 inches of my femur at one point because it was infected. I got a bad bacteria at the time of the accident. So they cut the femur out. Instead of losing my leg, they were able to put this external device on to grow that bone back over 6 months. That was a rack of torture. Well said. It was painful.
I'm going to quote you. When I saw the big picture about my accident, I settled down for the long haul. You call it a dance with adversity.
Yeah, I blogged for several years. I blogged this book over the course of a few years. And the title that I used was Hope for the Best and Dance with the Rest. There's a lot in that rest. In the rest. But I learned that if you can learn to embrace adversity, learn to accept your adversity as a gift, then you find gems in that adversity.
You know, in this book, you quote everybody from Gandhi to Mary Tyler Moore, who said, "Pain nourishes courage. You can't be brave if you've only had wonderful things happen to you."
Yeah, I really believe that. I think suffering is underappreciated or undervalued by a lot of people. We live in a culture that is very much about comfort, very much about things will be good all of the time. And one of my missions in life is People, we live in a broken world. There will be suffering. If you aren't experiencing suffering now, it will come. So you're better off to prepare for it and have a mindset that says, this is actually going to develop character within me that will make me a better person, a more loving person, a more grateful person, and a more courageous person if you can learn to embrace the hardships of life.
Perseverance muscle continuously developed,
Yes.
as we see. And we're going to just catch up on your new normal in just a moment. Don't go away.